Hey, Calvin. I've noticed you've been feeling down lately. Is everything okay at work? I know you're not big on sharing problems, but keeping it all inside isn't for you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Nothing. Just mind your own damn business. I'll be fine, just like I always am.
Are you feeling frustrated? Is the workload at the company overwhelming you? I get it. You always put on a tough front at work, and maybe you don't have an outlet to vent elsewhere. So, can you please share with me what's happening this time? I'm here to listen and support you.
Oh, you want the truth, huh? Well, the truth is, I'm tired of playing the sidekick and always following your lead.
What's this all about? You've never mentioned anything like this before.
Can't you see? You're constantly caught up in work. Even when you come home, it's all about work, and you hardly pay any attention to me. When we go shopping, it feels like you just buy whatever you want without considering my feelings. Do you have any idea how that makes me feel, even though I try to keep up appearances? I've been really patient, you know. Why can't you be more considerate?
I'm not sure where all of this is coming from. I can't believe you're irritated simply because I buy clothes and accessories. I always purchase them using the savings I carefully manage. Besides, our household expenses are mostly covered by my income, while your salary is yours to spend as you wish. It's always been this way. Honestly, it hurts to hear such words from you.
What exactly are you trying to imply? Are you going to start boasting about how you've been the sole provider for our family? You know what? You're nothing but a huge hypocrite.
No, that's not what I mean at all. I'm just trying to clarify because I feel like you're misunderstanding me and the effort I've put into our relationships.
What about me and my contributions? Have you forgotten everything I've done for you? I was your manager when you were an actress. I supported you financially during our tough times. I sacrificed my personal time for you until the day you retired. You were once a top star in the US, and I played a crucial role in getting you there. I even made it to Hollywood alongside you. Without my support, along with your ex-manager and aide, who handled everything from your health to your private life during your globetrotting career, you wouldn't have been able to stay in the game. Instead of boasting about what you've done for me, maybe it's time to show some gratitude for the trouble I've gone through and the constant support I've given you.
What are you talking about, honey? I want you to know that I am truly grateful for everything you've done for me. And I always make an effort to show my appreciation. Can't you see that? Listen, Calvin. I'm curious about what you're hoping to achieve with our discussion. Are you feeling frustrated and just need to vent? Or is there something else on your mind that you'd like to talk about?
Hey, don't you think it's unfair how much I have to work? I crave some time off and the chance to travel at my own pace. Sure, the salary has been good since I joined the company, but I never get a moment to relax and enjoy myself. I left showbiz and joined your company to support you, Julie. Don't you think I deserve a bit more gratitude? It's about time you stop putting your own time first and give me a proper break.
Well, Calvin, I don't think you're being entirely fair here. You're making it sound like I forced you to leave showbiz and join my company against your will. But let's refresh our memories, shall we? When I retired, you chose to stay in showbiz and continue being a manager. It was only later, once my business started flourishing, that you changed your mind and wanted to support me. You even told me, if I join the company and stay by your side, you won't be lonely. I want to be there for you. The decision was entirely yours. I never asked for it or pressured you into it.
I did it because I care about you. I know you can't handle running a whole company on your own without my help. Everything I do it for you. Isn't that enough? Listen, I don't care how crazy things are at the company right now. All I'm asking for is some time off from work.
It seems like you've already made up your mind, huh?
Now here's something else. My parents' 60th anniversary is coming up, and I just have to take some time off for a lavish celebration. I'm thinking about a 2-week vacation to Japan, you know? They've never been there, and I just have this urge to show them all the tasty food and beautiful sights.
2 weeks off is actually not a big deal. It's a reasonable request that you can easily make at work. Our company is known for being fair and accommodating when it comes to leave requests. I'm sure nobody would have any issues with it. And we have the resources to manage just fine in someone's absence.
Hey, so it's all good, right? I can take 2 weeks off without any problem, correct? I expect you to attend my parents' 60th celebration as well, given that you're their daughter-in-law. It's only fitting and necessary for you to be there to show your respect and support.
Well, I understand you want to take time off, but I can't join your trip this year. There's a crucial fashion show for the models in my agency, and I also need to prepare for the Paris collection. My schedule just doesn't align. Can you ask your parents if next year would work? I can adjust my schedule then.
Hold on a second. What in the world are you talking about? Are you suggesting that work is more important to me than my own parents? That's absolutely absurd.
No. That's not what I meant at all. I'm sorry for any misunderstanding. What I was trying to say is that I won't be able to join you and your family on the 2-week trip to Japan. However, if your parents decide to celebrate the anniversary at their house, I'd be more than happy to join in. We have 2 major company events lined up this year, right? As the CEO, it's crucial for me to be present and participate in those events. I'm really sorry, but the schedules were fixed and decided on 6 months ago. I wish you had informed me about this plan in advance so that we could have discussed it earlier.
All right, I understand. You don't want to come with me and my family, and that's perfectly fine, no problem at all. We can just have the celebration with my side of the family instead. Actually, I've been longing for some quality family time as well. Considering I work as an accountant, my absence for a week shouldn't really disrupt work, right? So what do you say? Don't I deserve some free time too?
It doesn't matter to me. Take 1 week or 2. Do as you like.
Boss, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I've noticed that you and Mr. Clark haven't really been talking to each other at the company. Is there something going on between the two of you?
Oh, Ella. There's nothing really wrong between me and my husband. We just had a disagreement on something.
What's going on, boss? You know I'm always here to help. I just don't like seeing you upset.
I know, Ella. You've been by my side supporting me ever since I started managing the company. Honestly, there are times when you're even more reliable than my husband.
Aw, I'm so glad that you feel that way about me. So could you please tell me what's happening between you and Mr. Clark?
Well, a few days ago, we had an argument. My husband wanted to take 2 weeks off to go on a vacation trip to Japan with his parents for their 60th celebration. He asked me to join them, but I had to decline because our company has 2 crucial events coming up and my presence is required. After that, he became really angry with me. He accused me of disrespecting him and his parents and called me a terrible wife and daughter-in-law.
What? That's incredibly unfair. Ever since you retired, you've made so many sacrifices for him and his family. You've been the one taking care of all the expenses, not just for our household, but also for his parents' household. You even paid for their meals and trips numerous times, right? I don't understand why he would say that you're not fulfilling your role as a wife and daughter-in-law. I believe he's being way too harsh on you.
Well, ever since that big argument, we've been sleeping in separate bedrooms due to our work schedules. And as a result, we haven't had any chance to see each other.
If I were you, I'd have given him a piece of my mind. You've been too soft on your husband, boss. I get that you love him, but you can't let him walk all over you.
Maybe you're right. So, what should I do?
You can call him, right? Why not talk after work today? Please don't worry about spoiling his trip. If things keep going like this, you might be headed for divorce.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for the advice. I really appreciate it.
Oh, and don't forget, there's about a 15-hour time difference between the US and Japan. It might be a good idea to send him an email beforehand, letting him know that you need to talk and that he should expect your call.
That's a fantastic idea, Ella. I hadn't even considered it. You truly are an exceptional secretary.
Haha, I know. Thanks, boss.
Hey, Nicole. It's Julie. Sorry if I'm bothering you during your vacation, but I wanted to check if Calvin is with you. There's something important I need to discuss with him. I emailed him about calling in advance, but I've been trying to reach him every 30 minutes and haven't gotten a response.
Hello, dear Julie. I can imagine you must be exhausted from work. I apologize for going on this trip without you. We did tell Calvin that we'd prefer you to be with us, but he insisted that we should leave without you. It seems like you have a lot of work to handle, am I right?
Thank you for considering me, Nicole. It's true that we are incredibly busy at the company this year, and I couldn't find the time to join the trip. I'm truly sorry, and I hope you understand. I'll definitely make it up to you next year. I promise.
Oh, okay, don't worry about it. Just having this wonderful trip as a gift from you is more than enough for us.
Wait, a gift from me?
Oh, it isn't? Calvin told us that this trip was fully paid for you because you couldn't join.
What? I'm sorry, but I don't understand what you're trying to say. In fact, I just got to know about the trip recently.
Wait a second. Isn't this a trip you arranged for us? Calvin paid for everything with your card, so I thought it was from you.
Something doesn't seem right here. As I already told you, Calvin only told me about the trip a few days ago, and I definitely didn't agree to let him use my card for payment.
Honestly, I'm not sure myself. I only know what Calvin told me. He invited me and my husband and his sister on this family trip. Based on my calculation, the flights alone cost at least $1,000 per person, not including other expenses. It could have easily exceeded $10,000. When I asked Calvin if we needed to contribute to the expenses, he assured me not to worry because you were going to cover all of it. I'm sorry, dear. Did he use your card without consulting you first? Julie, are you still there? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a little taken aback.
Don't worry so much, dear. We'll repay every cent spent on the trip. To be honest, Calvin insisted on using your card to cover everything, which seemed quite strange. My husband and I have decided to reimburse you at a later time. We miss you and we're planning to visit you. It seemed like this trip was based on a flawed plan.
It's okay, Nicole. You're not at fault. It's also your 60th celebration, so please use that money for your enjoyment. But could you tell me more about the trip's planning? I was wondering what Tom was up to.
Well, to tell you the truth, this trip was actually proposed by Calvin's sister and her husband.
Wow, that's surprising. I never would have guessed that.
I'm really sorry for you being unaware of all of this. Calvin told me you were busy and asked me not to reach out to you directly. Julie, I just want to clarify. You didn't give Calvin a card or anything, right? Because I saw him using a black card that I've never seen before. It looked really strange.
A black card, you say? Hold on a moment. Let me check. Well, I'm at a loss for words. I just checked the safe in my company, and the black card that should have been there is indeed missing. Needless to say, the card is crucial for my company and can only be accessed by Calvin and me, as we are the only ones who know the safe password.
What? No way! You mean Calvin stole your company's black card? I can't believe it!
I cannot say with certainty, but honestly, all the evidence points to him. Calvin being in charge of my company's finances, could have easily manipulated records to cover up his misuse of company funds.
Oh no! What should we do, Julie? We had no idea that Calvin took your company's card. Are we somehow complicit in this embezzlement? Don't worry, we'll return to the US with Calvin immediately. We cannot deny our involvement. Even if we were unaware, we will accept our punishment once we're back.
Listen, Nicole. This whole situation was orchestrated by Calvin and his sister's family. You and your husband are not to blame. You were simply manipulated by Calvin. So please don't blame yourself. However, I do need your help with something.
Of course. We'll do the best we can to help you.
I've turned a blind eye to Calvin's actions until now. That's my fault. He's taken me for granted, thinking he can get away with just an apology. But this goes beyond just our marriage problems. It's a matter concerning the company as well. We must make sure he learns a valuable lesson.
What's up? We're enjoying a family-only trip, so what's this important talk about?
You took your time calling. Did you go a little wild, huh?
No way, just having drinks at a nearby bar with Mom and Dad.
Oh, really? I wonder if it's true or not. By the way, Calvin, you haven't been doing anything with the company's expenses, have you?
What's all that about? Why are you asking me that question all of a sudden? Something happened?
Just checking, since there will be an audit at the company soon.
Hey, don't tell me... Are you suspecting me? We're husband and wife. The least we can do is trust each other.
What's wrong? I was just concerned, and you're talking about suspicion? Did you do something wrong?
No. Anyway, make sure the house won't be in a mess when I get back. You know I hate coming back to a dirty house with bugs. A wife is her husband's maid. Disobey, and it's divorce. Even our executive says that to his wife. Looks like I might have to do the same, right? You wouldn't want that, so keep the house clean.
Look, I have never seen you getting along with the executive. So why are you bringing it up in our conversation? But sure, if that's what you want, then I'll keep that in mind.
Hey, Julie, you're late. What have you been doing?
What do you mean? I was working. You know I was busy preparing for the fashion show, right?
Did you do something yesterday?
Do something like what?
Don't play dumb. Tell me the truth. What did you do?
What's gotten into you? Something wrong?
Nothing?
Too bad, Calvin. You were supposed to be having a blast in Japan. But it seems your dream turned into a nightmare overnight, huh? But it's what you deserve for misusing someone else's money.
You did something, didn't you? You witch.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I took action myself. Yesterday, I reached out to the president of the credit card company I have a long-standing relationship with, even though it was after hours. Thankfully, he agreed to assist me right away. He promptly suspended the company's credit card, and the good news is that if a credit card is misused, the company is not liable for any charges.
But I had already made arrangements to pay the entire bill at checkout. Now that the card is blocked, how am I supposed to settle the bill? And to make matters worse, the hotel receptionists are grilling me with questions now. Oh no. What should I do in this situation?
Well, that's your responsibility to handle, dear. Oh, and don't worry about your parents. They've already checked out and got into the taxi I arranged for them. They're on their way and safe. It's just you, your sister, and her family left at the hotel. No one else is coming to pick you guys up.
How can you do this and think it's okay? Are you ready for a divorce?
Go ahead. I'd rather not have a husband who embezzles company funds. I've already spoken to a lawyer, and we're moving forward with divorce proceedings.
What? Have you completely lost your goddamn mind?
I've overlooked so much of what you've done, Calvin. There was a time when you supported my work and I was grateful, but I've reached my limit. My patience is exhausted.
That can't be. Look, you've gotta help me. The receptionist is relentlessly demanding payment from me. None of us could speak Japanese, and we're having to rely on a guide for communication.
I see. Well, let me speak to them on your behalf then.
Really? You're gonna help?
Gladly.
They returned the phone to me. So what did they say?
Well, I spoke to the receptionist in Japanese and explained the situation to them. They understood it quickly and it seemed quite cooperative. To alleviate their concerns, I provided them with my contact information, which my secretary noted down. They happily agreed to my proposal. It turned out to be a friendly conversation after all.
Did you sort it out for us?
Yeah, I've taken care of it. Now it's up to you guys.
Really? You're a lifesaver, Julie. I love you. Julie, what's going on here? What is this place? It's horrifying. Please, get us out of here.
Yeah. The receptionist already told me. It seems like you were taken to a slum area in Osaka, Japan, right?
I don't know. But once my sister's family and I arrived here, we were completely stripped of all our belongings.
I see. You're in quite a pitiful state, aren't you? He said it's considered the most dangerous place in Japan.
Who said that?
Well, when I was talking to the receptionist, he said, I was a big fan of yours. I'll prepare a harsh punishment. Just leave it to me. But honestly, I never managed it would turn out like this. You should count yourself lucky to be alive in Japan's most dangerous spot. It's a miracle, really.
What? Hold on. Julie, what is going on here? Please explain and come help us immediately. Ugh, these homeless people. They just won't leave us alone for a second. There are way too many of them. Could you please let me talk to my parents? I know they're with you. At least they have some common sense, because I'm their son.
Yeah, they're here with me. It's perfect timing, because your mom wants to have a few words with you.
You guys were causing trouble for Julie. Now reap what you sow. Time for reflection.
What? Mom, what are you doing?
A friend of Julie's flew us back in a private jet. We returned to the US and Julie picked us up. We realized you guys were trying to set Julie up, so we asked her to do what she pleases with you guys.
Wait, how could you do this to me? I'm your son, for crying out loud. Please, just tell Julie to take us to the police or something. We don't want to stay here any longer.
Well, embezzlement is indeed a serious crime, and I could easily take you to the police. But that wouldn't be enough to satisfy me. You've been belittling me and treating me like garbage for far too long. So I began devising a revenge plan. I must admit, even I was surprised by my own cunning. But my love for you has died, leaving only hatred and anger in its wake. At first, your parents were hesitant about this wicked plan. But as responsible parents, they eventually made up their minds and agreed to be my allies.
Listen, I swear I have nothing to do with all of this, all right? It was all my sister's and her husband's idea. Please, just let me off the hook, will you? You know I still love you. I only took our company's card because my sister pressured me into it.
Yeah, I'm well aware that your sister and her husband are the ones pulling the strings here. Your sister's husband happens to be an executive at my rival company. And he's always had this condescending attitude towards me just because I'm a female CEO. But what disappoints me the most is that you never stood up to your sister on my behalf. They've always had a strong sense of rivalry towards me. And I've done my best to avoid dealing with those two as much as possible. I had a feeling that this whole trip was orchestrated by them. Possibly to manipulate you into picking fights and excluding me. They were just waiting for the perfect opportunity to have you tag along as their cash cow.
What? No way, that can't be true. My sister has always cared about me, and she wouldn't just see me as a cash cow.
Well, she's right there with you, isn't she? Why don't you ask her directly for an answer then? Anyway, good luck handling the situation with the people in Skid Row. My husband and his sister's family found themselves trapped abroad without enough money to return to the US. I verified the details with the hotel receptionist. It turned out that the receptionist had a connection with someone in the Skid Row, who agreed to look after Calvin and his group in exchange for me treating him to some top-notch liquor in the future. This arrangement gave me some assurance that they would be protected from any life-threatening situations. In return, I agreed to perform a live singing gig at the hotel. Something I hadn't done in a long time. The receptionist mentioned that my live performance video, which was the only one ever released during my active singing career, was still his treasured possession. He expressed gratitude for our stay at the hotel and promised to arrange VIP treatment for me. With the help of the men from the hotel, I successfully sought revenge on Calvin and his group. I also managed to finalize my divorce from Calvin, feeling a sense of relief and freedom. Life has been enjoyable as I spend time with my in-laws. Calvin's sister and her husband faced the consequences of their unexcused absences from work and ended up getting fired. Furthermore, the locals took away their phones, leaving them without any means to contact anyone. Since this situation didn't escalate to involve the police, it seemed like nobody really cared about Calvin and his group. As a result, my ties with Calvin were completely severed. I've been focused on my work and living a happy life ever since. Occasionally, I reach out to the receptionist to inquire about Calvin and his group's well-being. Although they continue to live in challenging conditions, I can't find it in my heart to feel sorry for them. I had requested their lives to be spared, and now I'm embracing life to the fullest.